Azeem, really good to see you, and thank you for your time. And first of all, what are your reflections on yesterday? It must be a big relief it's all over.
Yeah, massive relief. I feel like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders, something I've been carrying for a long time. Very overwhelmed by the reaction, but it just feels like finally been shouting from the rooftops for a very long time, and I feel like potentially someone's listened.
How difficult was it for you to relive all those terrible moments that you experienced?
Horrible. Every time I speak about it, I went into the one thing I was nervous. I was like, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. And then first sentence, boom, start crying. It's still raw. It really is. But hopefully yesterday's provided some sort of closure for my heart.
I think those tears showed how authentic you were. You obviously spoke to your family last night. How proud were they about what you did?
Yeah, incredibly proud. My dad said to me, look, no runs or wickets could have done what you've done, and I'm really proud of you. And yeah, that's an incredibly proud thing for me, because he sacrificed his world for us. And my wife, yeah, she was really proud, and she doesn't say a lot, but she was smiling, and I haven't seen her smile for a while.
Because they've lived this with you, haven't they?
Oh yeah, without doubt. It's been horrible, and it just shows why people are so fearful of coming forward. Textbook stuff, briefings, personal attacks, threats to family members, to yourself. Yeah, it was horrible because, like, literally I was all day, every day worried about things, and on the phone, like tweeting stuff, and just shouting from the rooftops to be heard. And unfortunately, and the PCA, who was supposed to be a professional cricket association, in my opinion, had no interest in dealing with the issue. They wanted to tick a lot of boxes just in case it sort of came to them, but no interest. I feel that the ECB should have done more.
You mentioned threats then. Have you had any recently?
Yeah, we've had some throughout. We had some early on, and then it stopped for a bit. In my shop only a couple of nights ago, someone walked in and said that I had a bomb and we should all run. So, but things like that. Look, I think social media can be quite a toxic place, but actually I want to see the positive side of social media and media in general. I think we've all managed to get our voices heard finally, and I think it's because of the media and social media.
Are you surprised at the impact you've had, your experience has had, you speaking out has had?
Yeah, I was surprised last night about how surprised people were. This has been going on for a long time, as long as I've lived in this country, as long as I've known. So yeah, that was a bit weird. I'm just I think I'm starting to understand a little bit how sort of big it's got, but I think it's important that it's in a few weeks' time, in a month's time, 2 months' time, that we still keep the eye on the ECB, Yorkshire, the game as a whole, because they'll be waiting for us to look the other way so they can carry on their merry way again.
Are you convinced that there are still players in dressing rooms up and down the country today who are going through what you went through?
Up to yesterday, without doubt. I would hope after yesterday that there's going to be a complete change in mindset and complete change of direction. But yeah, up to yesterday, I have no doubt whatsoever that this happened. I think I've received a couple of messages, and I really I appreciate them. But at the same time, these people have known for the last year what my grievances have been. But positive is, and I see that as progress, that finally people are listening.
Are current players, former players, coming to you and expressing how they've experienced what you've experienced? And would you encourage them to do that and to do it in public?
Yeah, they have. A lot of former players. I think current players are in a difficult situation. They don't want to be seen as rocking the boat, but hopefully yesterday and the sort of movement in the direction that we want to take this shows them that it's fine.
It shouldn't be like that, should it?
Well, no, it shouldn't, and that again shows institutional racism. The fear of the institution is just so much that people, and it's actually disappointing because the clubs try and use the players that are in there to try and tell everyone how great it is. And I know, as part of the investigation, a 16 or 17-year-old's mum wrote a letter of support for Yorkshire. And the club should have never put her in that position, really, because what is she going to say? She wants her son to play professional cricket. What's she going to say? That you're terrible? So I think it's, again, the institutions need to really be ears, listen, and hopefully people can feel more empowered that, you know what, this is wrong and we're not going to stand for it anymore.
You've always said it's not about individuals, it's about the culture, but what do you think should happen to those individuals that you've named who are guilty of what you accuse them of? Should there be reprisals for them?
I think people who apologise and accept should get a second chance, but there should still be some level of accountability. I don't think anyone should be getting away with this as in, oh, he's going to learn, it's going to be all right. No, I don't think so. I think a clear message needs to be sent out that this is not okay, and if you do it, there's going to be repercussions. People in denial, I think the authorities should come down hard on them.
What would you say to those people who are in denial about the impact that their behaviour had on you personally?
This is what I've wanted to do from the offset, and I offered to do this to Yorkshire to get me in a room. I asked the PCA to get us in a room, so all I wanted to tell them is how them so-called little things to them, how over a period of time it broke me to a point where I nearly committed suicide. And that, I think that's, hopefully yesterday's done some of that. But I think it's important that we share our experiences openly with people, and I think that can be a tool for learning. I'm not interested in the unconscious bias training sat in a classroom and telling the world, oh, look at us, we can't be racist because we've done unconscious bias training. It's been going on a long time in America. It doesn't, no stats to my knowledge or data shows that it makes any difference whatsoever. But I think lived experience and me sitting in front of 30 people and telling them how these little so-called little things to them, how the impact it had on my life, I think that is a massive tool for learning.
And you think that would have an effect even on these kind of people?
I hope so. Look, there's always going to be people that just don't care, and I can't really help them. But yeah, you'd hope from a human point of view that if you sort of sit and listen and see it for what it is, as opposed to getting in a bunker defensive mentality and closing ranks, there can be a lot of positive to come out of this.
Talking about closing ranks, Michael Vaughan is one of those men who you've accused. Michael Vaughan has denied everything that he said, which effectively means he's questioning you. What do you say to that?
Yeah, look, there's myself, Adele and Rana that clearly remember it. As I said yesterday, maybe it's not something Michael remembers, but yeah, I think to keep putting the onus on the victim, to keep proving, I think enough has been said on that, and I just want to make sure it's not all focused in on that, because it's never been about the individuals, it's always been about the institutions. But I reiterate, people who apologise should be given a second chance, but people in denial, I think it's important that their employers send a message out to the public whether they're going to be the green light, and if they share the same values, or they're going to stamp it.
In that case, do you think Michael Vaughan should keep the profile he has got in the game?
Like I said, I think it's important that anyone who apologises should be given a second chance, and people who are going to continue to do what Yorkshire did, their employers need to make a decision.
David Lloyd was one of those who did apologise.
Yeah.
What did that mean for you?
Yeah, David got in touch as soon as I got back yesterday, and I said to him I appreciated his apology and thanked him for it. And I said that's all I've been after. I said to him I didn't appreciate the comments he made about me and Asian community in general, and they were factually incorrect. I think he had been briefed by certain individuals around Yorkshire, because David has never spent any time with me apart from odd times when he's commentated me and like a passing conversation. So I think he's sorry, and I accepted his apology.
You have talked about racists and bystanders. Do you think yesterday gave bystanders more courage to do the right thing?
I hope so. Yeah, that like I said, I think it was so entrenched and so embedded in that culture and environment that I'm not sure some of them even realised that what was happening was wrong, and that just goes back to my initial allegation and that Yorkshire is institutionally racist.
You called for the entire leadership team at Yorkshire to resign, for the club to move forward. Surely for cricket to move forward, the entire leadership team at the ECB has to do the same.
Yeah, like I said, I think ECB should have done a lot more. The buck lies with them. I've said that clearly yesterday. They have now, I think yesterday has made it very clear to them that this needs to change. I think Tom made a commitment yesterday that he's going to do something and do it fast. I think it's important we give that opportunity initially, but we're going to be impatient and we're going to call it out. And if things don't change, if I see PR initiatives or tokenism, say tomorrow or in the next few days, I think their positions become untenable as well.
Do you really think they deserve that chance? They turned their backs on you in your darkest moments.
I think I have a sense of sort of sorry for them, but I think they tried to trust their member to do the right thing, and I genuinely feel that they got sold down the river by Yorkshire. Like I said, constitutionally I don't know what's what legally. As a human, I wouldn't have done that. But like I said, I think the corporates in the game have lost the human touch. And I think as well, if I'm being honest, they hoped it wouldn't get anywhere and it would just get brushed away. But I think they got sold down the river by Yorkshire County Cricket Club.
Because they put plenty of energy into commercial ventures in the last 12 months, but ignore what is fundamentally the most important issue they had in their desk.
Without doubt. I think the 100 and like as I said, all they clearly cared about is the money coming into the game, and that's fine if you're being honest. But I heard a lot from Tom himself and a lot of people about how serious they are last year, and it was actually quite difficult to take how unserious actually everyone was. I mean, the amount of times I rang the PCA and said, "Look, I'm struggling. They're not doing the right thing. Help me. No, Yorkshire's doing the right thing. We'll have to wait for the report. It was just a constant, we can't do anything. Wear your protection. When the report finishes, wear your protection. But what's to say that I would have got to the end? I mean, there was some horrible times in the winter, and quite possibly I might not have been here. And I just felt like they didn't care. So yeah, I think if we're being brutally honest, they've got a lot to answer for themselves. And yesterday again showed that I'm not sure that they are capable of answering them questions.
Can cricket police itself, genuinely?
No. I think cricket needs to. I think the government, I think the politicians, whoever and whatever it takes, needs to actually look at the structures of governance, not just at Yorkshire, at the ECB, the PCA. I think it's a cosy game controlled by middle-aged white men who think that they're doing the right thing, but they're completely off the mark.
And do you think what you did yesterday is going to have a big impact, a big positive impact on the Asian community who love cricket, who play recreational cricket, who want to do what you did and more?
I mean, I hope it has a positive on the community, that they actually hear how we need to unite as a community. I think it's important, as I said yesterday, that I'll be completely honest, and a lot of the Asian community has been trying to help Yorkshire cover this up. A lot of the local businesses. As I said, Hanif Malik, the Inclusive Diversity Board member, it was supposedly his role, and not only did he do nothing, he was actually trying to help the club get away with it. So I think our young leaders and our young people can see that we need to ask questions of our leaders and pick our leaders more carefully, because quite clearly for a very long time organisations such as National Asian Cricket Council, Hanif Malik's and other people have been doing disservice to our community for the sake of their own interests.
And just finally, where do you see yourself fitting in the future? You are now seen as this campaigning hero, really. Where do you see yourself fitting in? What good would you like to do?
I'm not really sure. I need to spend some time with my family. It's been draining, but I think it's important that this is not made all about me, because trust me, the experience that I've spoke out yesterday is up and down the country, in cricket, in sport, in every walk of the life, and it's important that we realise that it's not just me, and really try and use this as an opportunity to unite together and take our society in a completely different direction to where we're heading, because I genuinely feel we're heading for destruction.
What do you mean by that?
I think as a game, the numbers are there for everyone to see. I think the England team, a little bit of credit where it's due, but whether it's happened by luck or actually design, I'm not sure. But
the diverse makeup.
Diverse makeup of the team. I think a lot of people have got to look within and face uncomfortable truths. Get out of this denial bunker, defensive mentality, and go, you know what? Maybe we were wrong, but we're going to learn from it. We're going to sit together, and we're going to move this game and make the game the beautiful game that it should be.
And yesterday you talked about looking back in 5 years' time and what success would look like. What do you think success would look like?
If people are struggling, they feel empowered to come forward. If they came forward, there's people rallying around them. So that would be, I think, one measure. I would like to see more representation up and down the country. And yeah, actually, I'd love to see, nothing would make me more happy than there's a massive Asian community just outside of Headingley. Kids coming home from school and going, oh, well, there's a couple of hours left, we'll pop in to watch. Because ultimately they are the future.
Because they wouldn't do that now.
I don't think they've ever done that. I think Yorkshire County Cricket Club has never been a welcoming place for South Asians.
If that happened, all of that happened, that would be a great legacy for what you've had to go through.
Yeah, I think, like I said, it'll all be worth it. Every bit of pain, and hopefully my kids can look at that and say, right, with some pride.
Legacy for your family as well as yourself.
Yeah, hopefully. Like I said, I don't think it's going to be easy, but it's important that we keep on this and we don't see this as an end, and actually it's really only the start.